I'm Abby Jurek here at the Arizona State Capitol, where GOP lawmakers are working to make changes to early voting. However, outside members of the public are here in protest. I'll keep you updated on how things play out.
And I'm Tyler Wargo. Phoenix is experiencing its first 100-degree day and extreme heat warning. City officials are now going to be closing trails like Paistua Peak starting on Thursday. And I'll have you guys covered on which hiking spots have been affected.
And a historic finish for Team Venezuela in the World Baseball Classic. Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News. I'm Caden Rockins.
And I'm Raina Majalet. Thank you for joining us.
Republican leaders in the Arizona legislature are considering amending the state's constitution and updating this state's election laws. Cronkite News reporter Abby Jurek is at the State House where protesters are pushing back. Abby?
Arizonans are divided over the possible changes to election laws in the state. This afternoon, both the Senate and the House are hearing these proposals, while outside, protesters are pushing back. The proposed amendments are subject to change in both chambers, but Republican leadership said the focus is on securing elections by ensuring only citizens vote and making changes to early voting to get results more quickly. The protesters out here today worry these changes in an election year will cause too much confusion and make it harder for citizens to vote.
It's just voter suppression because they're afraid. They're afraid of losing, so they want us to be afraid of voting, and they want to try to make it impossible, for people like me, change their last name. My last name doesn't match my birth certificate.
Right now, Arizona has what's called universal mail-in voting, meaning active voters receive a ballot automatically and can turn it in all the way through Election Day. And that's caused a lot of anger because mail-in ballots have to get signature verified and take longer to count. That's one thing Republicans want to see change. In Phoenix, Abby Jurek, Cronkite News.
Arizona public school educators were also at the Capitol today to hold a press conference opposing several education bills. The Arizona Education Association says they're frustrated the legislature has not yet passed or renewed public schools funding yet. These public school supporters also spoke out today against several other schools bills, which they feel is a distraction. Two of the House bills that would change curriculum standards were considered by the Senate Education Committee today.
At our nation's capital today, President Trump's pick to lead the Department of Homeland Security is testifying before Congress. Mark Wayne Mullen, the Republican senator for Oklahoma, is meant to replace former DHS Secretary Kristi Noem. Senator Ruben Gallego questioned Mullen on Arizona's role in the 2020 election.
Do you believe that Joe Biden won Arizona in the 2020 presidential election? The reason I ask is because, again, you're potentially deploying HSI agents to Arizona to check a result using our taxpayer dollars to follow up on a conspiracy theory.
Sir, I'm not familiar with what the former secretary did here, and nor am I here to debate. I think we can always do better, and I want to do that.
Now to the war in Iran, which has sent gas prices surging. Right now, prices are hovering around $4.40 per gallon in Phoenix, jumping about $1.50 since February, before the war, according to AAA. Economists say speculation and market uncertainty drove the immediate and drastic spike. Jim Rounds, an economist in Tempe, says this means consumers can expect higher costs not only for gas, but foods, goods, and services for as long as the war continues.
We'll need the conflict to be short-lived, so maybe another month, hopefully no more. And people should expect that the prices don't come down immediately. They're going to come down slowly. So it might be something where it impacts them over a couple or 3 months, but it's going to be very much dependent on how quickly the issues are resolved in Iran. If it ends up taking longer, then the impacts and the duration could be much different.
Rounds also says lower income families will likely feel the greatest impact because they have less wiggle room in their budget.
Today marks the first 100-degree day of 2026. And not only is it making people break a sweat, it's breaking records as well. Today's high of 101 degrees breaks the record for earliest triple-digit day. The previous record was March 26th in 1988. This high also breaks the record for the hottest March temperature on record and the hottest temperature for March 18th. Phoenix also has the possibility to set a record for the hottest average March temperature if these triple-digit highs continue for several days. This warm weather means closures for many of the metro area's most popular trails. The extreme heat warning puts the Phoenix Trail Safety Program into effect, impacting trails at South Mountain, Camelback Mountain, and others. Tyler Wargo was out at a North Phoenix mountain this morning and joins us now with a look at how hikers and firefighters are dealing with the heat. Tyler?
Even being in the shade is quite hot, but just imagine how those hikers feel who are out on the trails right now, midday. The temperatures are only getting warmer today and going into the weekend. When the National Weather Service issues an extreme heat warning, the City of Phoenix institutes its Trail Heat Safety Program. The closure for trails like Piestewa Peak, Camelback Mountain, and South Mountain will be closed this Thursday to Sunday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Temperatures are expected to reach a high between 104 and 106 degrees. Phoenix Fire Department responded to 6 heat-related rescues since Monday. Local hikers I talked to say the tourists in particular aren't prepared.
The closure is to protect the firefighters and the paramedics from undue rescues. For so many people that come here that aren't prepared for it. They think they can lose 10 pounds in a day coming here in the heat and hiking, and are in nowhere near condition.
And if you have to be out in the heat, be sure to avoid those warm parts of the day. We recommend you to drink 1 liter of water per hour. For now, Tyler Wargo, Cronkite News.
Coming up next, we'll have your full 8-day forecast.
But before that, the threat of a heat wave concerns botanists and gardeners. We'll tell you how Phoenix Botanical Gardens are keeping their foliage fresh and teaching others to do the same. Coming up on Cronkite News.
Into those early morning lows, we're up north.
Trail runs about a mile long and not only features different textures and terrain.
65 to 63 after Florida's defense stopped it.
The scientists and engineers that support the next mission to Mars could be in this class.
Getting a degree at ASU is a journey that can take you anywhere. Into a world of groundbreaking technology and renowned award-winning faculty. Professors who help you to impact the world. Whether you're on campus or at home, becoming your best starts with learning from the best.
The UFW says it will not take part in events honoring Cesar Chavez this month.
This comes after new claims against Chavez, including allegations of sexual abuse.
A spokesperson for Governor Katie Hobbs also says the state of Arizona will not recognize Cesar Chavez Day either. The announcements come after several women say they were sexually abused by Chavez, including labor rights activist Dolores Huerta, who worked alongside Chavez. The UFW says the allegations are, quote, against everything we stand for. Congresswoman Adelita Grijalva released a statement yesterday in response to the reports, saying, quote, one person does not define a movement. El movimiento has always been rooted in justice, and justice demands that survivors are supported and heard. Chavez was a Mexican-American farm labor leader who fought for farm workers' rights.
And a major move from Arizona's Attorney General this week. Chris Mays has filed criminal charges against prediction market company Kalshi, making Arizona the first state ever to bring charges against the company. She argues Kalshi broke state law by accepting bets for sports events and elections in our state. Those include the 2026 governor's race, its Republican primary, and the race for Secretary of State. A spokesperson for Kalshi says the case is, quote, paper thin, saying only the federal government can regulate prediction markets.
We've been talking about this record-breaking early heat, and people, of course, are trying to keep themselves cool. But these early heat waves are also putting a strain on even the most resilient desert plants.
That's right. Cronkite News reporter Bentley Yang visited Phoenix Gardens to show us how desert plants have to adapt.
Shaded pathways, flowing water, and plants built to survive the desert, all working together to create a balance in the landscape.
The desert is resilient and so are its residents.
But even the most resilient desert life can struggle under extreme temperatures extended over long periods of time. Researchers at the Desert Botanical Gardens say iconic plants like saguaros, built to withstand triple-digit heat and months without rain, can still get pushed beyond their limits. During extreme heat and drought, cactus may use up their stored water, and intense heat can cause these massive cactus to lose limbs or even collapse. And as heat waves become more frequent across the valley, experts say those impacts could become more common.
It's hot and the plants don't like it when it gets too hot.
The Japanese Friendship Garden of Phoenix shows how thoughtful landscaping works with the desert, not against it.
The plants that we have in the garden are primarily desert adapted plants, so that makes our job a little bit easier, but we do have to continue to monitor them so they have enough irrigation and water so that they don't die.
The same ideas can be used at home too. At the Desert Botanical Gardens, you can learn from the experts.
We offer a lot of classes that help you learn how to kind of maintain the plants in your own landscape the way that the garden does.
It's all about water.
In Phoenix, Bentley Yank, Cronkite News.
Bentley is here with us in the studio to give you more on this heat.
Bentley, what's in store for our full forecast?
That's right, guys. We're looking at a very warm week, so let's get started. Starting at 6 p.m., 98 degrees with clear skies, shifting down to 76 at 10. So looking a bit cooler as the evening progresses. Now for our low temperatures in Metro Phoenix, we are at 70 degrees, but if we look up north at the Grand Canyon, 35 up there. So it is definitely chillier up there. But speaking of not so chilly, let's take a look at our high temperatures for March. This is for tomorrow, 105 degrees in Metro Phoenix, and we're looking up north at the 80s and 90s, but Yuma beats us down here at 1 degree up, so that's 106 degrees in Yuma. Now we're going to look at our heat index, and we are looking at those very high temps. We are hitting the extreme danger mark, so stay safe. We are in triple digits, like I said. Now we're going to take a look at our 8-day forecast for tomorrow. 105 is our high, and as you see on the average right here, 79 is our average for the high, and for the low is 55. And we are above average for our highs and lows. We are triple digits for the whole entire week with just some clouds on that Sunday, and high 60s, low 70s for our lows, so staying above average for highs and lows. Stay safe, stay cool. For the Cronkite Weather Center, I'm Bentley Yank. Back to Raina and Caden at the desk.
Thanks, Bentley. You've heard of a car chase, but what about a paddleboard pursuit? Officials say a Florida police chase entered, quote, uncharted waters Monday when the suspect jumped into a river.
You have the right to talk to a lawyer for advice before we ask you any questions. To have a lawyer present. Hey!
The Volusia County Sheriff's Office says this video shows deputies questioning 28-year-old Chase Cruz in the Daytona Beach area. The man bolts, and law enforcement pursues him, even when he enters the Halifax River. A deputy and a Daytona Beach Shores police officer go after him on paddleboards. They bring him to shore, where he gets into another kind of deep water. Now he's charged with loitering, prowling, and resisting arrest. Officials in Texas are responding to 2 separate train incidents just within nearly 24 hours of each other.
One involved in a derailment near Houston, while another included a crash with an 18-wheeler. Almost 24 cars derailed southwest of Houston, some carrying ethanol. Crews are working to contain the area and prevent any leaks. In a separate incident, an Amtrak train collided with a semi, sparking a fire that was quickly extinguished. No serious injuries were reported in either case.
Coming up next, Team USA may have fell short in an upset against Venezuela last night.
But one pitcher's perseverance ran deeper than the home plate.
It's been a while since I've worn the military uniform, but put USA across the chest is the closest thing to it.
How an Air Force Reserve captain made his way to the World Baseball Classic fields, coming up on Cronkite News.
A historic finish for Venezuela in the World Baseball Classic. Welcome into the Cronkite Sports Report. I'm Justin Lacertosa. Thank you for joining us. That was Team Venezuela celebrating their first ever World Baseball Classic victory with a big upset over Team USA in last night's final. And it was thanks in large part to D-backs pitcher Eduardo Rodriguez, who threw for 4 1/3 innings of shutout ball. Venezuela led 2-0 for the majority of the game until Philly star Bryce Harper hit 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th. But then former Diamondback and current Reds outfielder Gino Suarez hit an RBI double in the 9th to seal the deal. Venezuela is now the second Latin team ever to win the WBC. Team USA unable to take the WBC title. Disappointing for sure, but for one man on the mound, the patriotism ran a little bit deeper. Our Gabby Chernoff has the story on Air Force Reserve captain and Team USA pitcher Griffin Jax.
Team USA pitcher Griffin Jax was throwing Ks while learning to fly planes.
It's been a while since I've worn the military uniform, but put USA across the chest is the closest thing to it. So
the Arizona native is the first and only graduate of the Air Force Academy to make it to the majors and still serves as a reserve captain in a recruiting and liaison role.
Yeah, there was always a saying that we used to say at the Air Force, it was embrace the suck.
Embracing the suck, amongst other things, set Jax up for success on the field, as he was drafted by the Minnesota Twins in the 3rd round of the 2016 MLB draft, following his junior year of college.
You train the way you're going to fight, and I will tell you this, the foundation was set at our school because of the fact that they want more. And they've been put in pressure type situations before, being at the Air Force Academy where you are under a severe amount of stress and pressure and adversity every day and not just being on the baseball field.
And Jax faced a high-stress situation when he first took the mound for Team USA.
I could cry every time I see him run out there. I don't know, I just watch him out there and I still think he's my baby.
Success did not come easy, right? It came with a price, and that price was the discipline and the work ethic and the faithfulness, the commitment, the love that we all shared as a family.
Those are qualities Griffin's dad, Garth, instilled in his 3 sons from a young age. lessons he learned during his 10-year career as an NFL linebacker for the Arizona Cardinals and Dallas Cowboys.
The passion and the work ethic and all that stuff, like I said, that he helped instill in my brothers and I from an early age has kept me going to this day.
The Jax family moved from Arizona to Colorado when Griffin was 14, where he attended Cherry Creek High School and showed star qualities on and off the field that are still present today.
Everybody knows him as this baseball player and this Air Academy guy and da-da-da. But he is just as good as gold as a person.
Griffin is such a better man, such a better husband, such a better father than he is a baseball player. So that's my son.
Since embracing the suck over 10 years ago, Griffin Jax has made an MLB career for himself, had 2 children with his wife Savannah, and found 2 more father figures who cheer him on alongside his parents every step of the way. Gabby Chernoff, Cronkite News.
Jax made an appearance in last night's title game, striking out the side in 8 pitches, marking his 4th appearance for Team USA in the tournament. ASU baseball continued its hot start last night, taking on its crosstown rival, GCU. Sun Devil fans packed the stands for the first Valley Showdown of the season, and it didn't disappoint. Cohen Nikolai gets a hit in the bottom of the 10th, and Dominic Smaldino scores all the way from first as ASU beats GCU in walk-off fashion, 4-3 the final in their first extra inning game of the year. ASU spring football kicks off tomorrow, and head coach Kenny Dillingham is excited to see the competition brew among players for several open positions, including quarterback. Following the departure of Sam Levin and Jeff Sims, Dillingham will be looking at several players to lead the offense into the future. A quarterback battle headlined by transfers Cutter Boley and Mikey Keene, the returning Cam Dyer, and 4-star freshman Jake Fetty.
I'm excited for the competition. Brought in competent guys who have done it in college football, not guys that we're hoping can do it in college football, and then Jake, obviously a really productive high school player, one of the best athletes on our team already. So really fired up about, that room as a whole. I think it's going to be a really fun room to watch throughout spring and a really fun room to kind of see compete and see grow together and see get better in the system.
Spring football runs for 5 weeks starting tomorrow before closing with the spring game and Fan Fest on April 25th. And finally, after 16 months of negotiations, the WNBA reached a verbal agreement with the Women's National Basketball Association on players' pay. Under a new collective bargaining agreement, the average salary will be set around $600,000, with the minimum deal starting at $300,000. That's an increase of $233,000 from the last CBA. The player salary cap will now start at $7 million, a $5.5 million increase. The deal comes just 51 days before the league's 30th season begins. That's going to do it for tonight's Cronkite Sports Report. I'm Justin Lassertosa. Thank you for joining us. Now back to Caden and Raina at the desk.
Coming up next, we're taking you to space with a new discovery on black holes.
That's right. The largest telescope in space recently found something that's got astronomers puzzled. These mysterious dots show up in almost every snapshot taken by the James Webb Telescope, but exactly what they are and what they mean for our understanding of the universe. We'll tell you what astronomers are saying after the break.
But scientists...
Welcome back. Mysterious red specks are showing up on images taken by the most powerful space telescope.
And scientists don't know yet what they are. They call them little red dots, and NASA's James Webb Space Telescope has now identified hundreds of them. Early theories suggested they could be massive galaxies from the early universe or black holes surrounded by dust. But newer information has challenged those ideas. Researchers are now believing that the object could represent a missing link, potentially solving the mystery of how black holes formed in the first place.
That's it for tonight's edition of Cronkite News. I'm Caden Rockins.
And I'm Raina Vagelet. Thank you for joining us. And to see top Arizona stories anytime, log on to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.